Tomorrow we will observe Remembrance Day and honor all those who fought and never came home. Thousands are buried in war grave cemeteries, many of the graves marked with a name and a simple cross. But not all of those who were killed were Christian. And now, 75 years after the end of the Second World War, there's an effort to fix some old mistakes. Abigail Bimman has the story.
He served overseas in 101 Squadron based in England, which was the squadron that had probably the most losses.
Morley was fortunate enough to bail out when the plane was shot down, but he landed in a tree.
We don't know exactly what happened, except the locals told investigators that the Germans shot him.
They shot him while he hung there. So it was a very terrible situation.
Morley Ornstein was just 20, killed in action in the Second World War. A cross ended up marking his grave in Germany.
Even though it's clear that he was of Jewish faith. And 75 years went by and nobody noticed until I did.
Ellen Besner wrote Double Threat, a book about the 17,000 Canadian Jews who served in that war. When she noticed the cross, she wanted to make it right.
I'm a mom of boys who are that age, and Morley died and sacrificed himself so that my kids could go to university, my kids could finish high school, and my kids could have a life here in freedom in Canada. It was the least I could do to fix it.
Besner reached out to a British historian who's worked tirelessly changing more than 100 incorrect war grave emblems to Stars of David.
It's part of the struggle against anti-Semitism. It's part of the struggle against people who lie about that Jews didn't serve in proportion to their numbers in the population, when in fact the reverse is true.
Besner gathered Ornstein's war records. You can see his own handwriting identifying himself as Hebrew.
In this house he lived for about 2 years.
Then came an incredible boost from another Morley who grew up on the very same Toronto street.
I remember meeting Morley. I sort of got a big grin on my face. Somebody find who he has the same name as I do.
92-year-old Morley Wolfe has vivid memories of the Ornstein family. He wrote a letter to the Commonwealth War Graves Commission.
Both my parents spoke Yiddish, and I certainly have a clear recollection of Morley's parents conversing with mine on occasion in Yiddish.
Their efforts worked.
The different pieces of the puzzle that come together to mean that we can be confident that he identified as a Jew, and therefore that is the most appropriate religious emblem to be going onto his headstone.
The transport process to the cemetery in Germany is being held up by the pandemic, but Flying Officer Morley Ornstein's new stone is ready. We showed it to his old friend.
Lovely. Well earned. Well deserved.
Those involved hope sharing Ornstein's story could help find some relatives the commission was never able to all those years ago. Abigail Bimman, Global News.
Global News will have live coverage of tomorrow's Remembrance Day ceremony in Ottawa. You can watch it at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 a.m. Pacific. We'll also be streaming it live on our website, globalnews.ca.